everyone, Jesse Webb, TradersPro. Market conditions are bullish in a bear market, or excuse me, bullish in a bull market still. A nice move a couple days ago and just a little bit of a pause yesterday. We're seeing overall momentum moving back up into that buy range. We're seeing breadth getting there, not quite as strong quite yet, and then sentiment is right where it needs to be, up in this upper range for some continuation right here. We're also seeing buy-sell ratio tick back down just a little bit yesterday. We bumped up to 199, back to 197, above 1 still. So that's what we want to focus on, is that overall trend shift back to a bullish momentum. It's still relatively flat, but it's leaning that direction. Point greater than 1 is essentially all we want right here. We're seeing all of the indexes also with buy-sell ratios back up above 1, which is positive for the market breadth. When you have the majority of those stocks in that uptrend, that typically is the path of least resistance and the momentum trend that we want to be able to follow. We also have additional confirmation with the sectors here, these sector ETFs. We've got almost all of them back into uptrend buys. The short-term trends are all up except for energy. Looked like it had a little move down yesterday. That energy trade on USO and oil, that may pull back down a little bit more. Let's take a look at that. Actually, we've got on commodities, USO sitting right on the support area. It could very easily break through this area and test that 50%. That would potentially complete a counter trend pattern, pull it back into that 50% 618 buy zone, create some support right there, and then get some more upside. So we'll see on energy, at least on oil, on USO, if we get a follow through. This is a pretty bearish looking candle right there with that support area holding. So it looks like it wants to retest that area. And that also still may continue to be good for the markets as a whole. If oil and energy starts to pull back. Let's take a quick look at some stocks today. Pretty nice group. This little stock here, AAOI, this was a high flyer from June to August, had a pretty deep retracement and then pulled back to that 618, started its move back up again. One to definitely keep an eye on. It's in that semiconductor world and really has that capacity, that capability to run quickly. So once eyeballs start getting on that, it's had, sometimes when that hold range goes from that hold all the way back up to that buy, sometimes it happens pretty quickly. So you get a day or 2 or 3 of a pullback or a pause, but it's up above a range now, up above this zone, this 895. See if it can hold up above that. It may want to retest it. If it retests it and proves that that's going to hold, you've also got just a ton of support area over here. So this entire range now looks like it could have cleared up above this and now is going to be working inside of this range, stair stepping up, counter trend pullback, continuation, test it, see if it breaks it, retest it. Okay, and that's what we get, those overall uptrends and downtrends, is as they break through different levels and then hold those levels and continue the overall march higher. NVIDIA is on the list also today, 457. So here was the earnings call. It seems like forever ago, but this was kind of the big one this last September, August. And it really hasn't done a whole lot since then. It is holding up. It's got a lot of support that it's finding right here, back up in the momentum zone for that 6 month time frame, and may be ready for some more upside. It's still in that momentum zone for a 1 year, for that 1 year time frame. And when stocks go straight up like that, they tends to take a while to consolidate those gains. Just think of a marathon runner. They run and run and run, and they need some time. They need some time to rest. A stock is the same way. When it's running, it needs a certain amount of time to consolidate all of those big runs. And NVIDIA had a lot of this was AI speculation. So and it's there's a lot of truth in it because they are selling a ton of these chips. They're going to be a major player. They're not going anywhere. Definitely one to be to keep your eye on. This is a stock that could easily be a $2,000 stock over time, as it's continuing to move higher. So NVIDIA is also in that list. Let's look at a couple of other. This is a retailer. I really like this chart pattern. As anytime you get a chart pattern that breaks out and then retests, it's not quite a retest all the way back down to here, but it is retesting this layer, this 236 zone. pretty significantly. It wants to stay in this upper momentum zone. That's a characteristic of a good momentum stock that did not have too much of a retracement. There's not a lot of aggressive sellers in there to be able to push that lower. That'll do it for today's update. If you don't have full access to the site and software, you can sign up with the link below, and we look forward to having you. Have a fantastic day today.